Hello and welcome back to another episode of Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. I am your host, David Butler, and this is your midweek episode. Happy 4th of July, everyone. The Cubs walk it off last night on a sac fly from Matt Shaw and complete the sweep of the Guardians. On today's episode, we will preview the weekend series against the St. Louis Cardinals, talk about the All-Star starters, as well as who else from the Cubs might have a legit chance to be a reserve All-Star. We will also talk about some more possible trade targets and rumors. Remember, the best way to help grow the podcast is to listen to every episode, like the episode, share the episode with your friends, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Join our Facebook group at Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy, and our Instagram with the same handle. As I said earlier, the Cubs sweep the Cleveland Guardians. Tuesday 5-2, on Wednesday was a 5-4 score, and Thursday night 1-0 in 10 innings. That was the first 1-0 game the Cubs have played all year. Pitching was the theme of the series as the Cubs got some great starts by Matthew Boyd, Shota Imanaga, and Cade Horton, who may have had the best start of the three, and definitely his best start of his career so far. The bullpen also goes 8 2/3 innings of scoreless ball. This bullpen has been absolutely ridiculously excellent. A game where the Cubs once again struggled against the lefty, who was called up yesterday after it was announced that Luis Ortiz was put on paid leave pending a gambling investigation. Today, the Cubs welcome the St. Louis Cardinals. Struggling Cardinals have just been swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates, are 5-5 in their last 10. They are 21-24 while on the road as well. They score 4.44 runs per game, good for 12th in the league, on the road, which is about 0.3 worse than they do on the road. So it's not too drastic of a difference. Their team ERA is 3.93, which is just a tad worse while at home. Their starters have struggled a little more than their bullpen, though, with an ERA of 4.10 versus 3.74 from the bullpen. Their offense is led by Brendan Donovan with an OPS of 785, Alec Burleson an OPS of 790, and Wilson Contreras an OPS of 761. They currently do not have a hitter who slashes over 800 for the season. Wilson Contreras is really good against lefties, and Brendan Donovan and Alec Burleson are much better against righties. The pitching staff is led by Sonny Gray, who has an ERA of 3.51. Fortunately, though, we will not face him this weekend. And a trio of relievers and Steven Matz 3.38, Phil Maton at 1.91, and closer Ryan Helsley at 3.41 ERA. The pitching matchups this weekend are Friday, Miles Michaelis versus Colin Ray. I expect that to be a high-scoring game. Both pitchers can be hit very well. Saturday, Matthew Liberatore versus Jameson Taillon. This is the game that worries me the most for the obvious reasons of another lefty, and this lefty just shut us down while they were in Busch. And Sunday, Eric Fetty versus Matthew Boyd. Saturday's game will be the most worrisome, like I just said. Sunday, I'll be at that game, so I'm totally stoked about it. I hate the start time at 6:10 Eastern time, 5:10 Chicago time, but it'll be a very exciting game. Should be an electric atmosphere all weekend, with July 4th weekend. A couple of 2025 draft notes here. Cubs pick 17th, 56th, and 90th in the first 3 rounds. I've gone over quite a few different possibilities for the first round. I've got 4 targets possibly for the second round. Ryan Mitchell, a shortstop, second baseman, 18-year-old from Houston High School in Germantown, Tennessee, has a hit grade of 60, power of 50, run 55, arm of 50, and a field of 50 with an overall 50. This kid, if he's drafted, or when he's drafted, will be drafted as high as he is because of his bat. He's a really good natural hitter from the left side, has a quick hitting stroke that should develop very well. Not the smoothest fielder, which will probably take him away from shortstop, but as bad as the reason he's being drafted so high. 55th rank overall. This is all from MLB.com. Charles DeValin, an outfielder, 21-year-old from Arkansas. Hit of 60 as well. Power 50, run 55, arm 45, field 55, and overall 50. Hits leadoff at Arkansas with a nice left-handed swing that doesn't chase much and focuses on gap-to-gap hitting. 54th overall. He and Mitchell are probably my favorite of these four. Dean Moss, an outfielder, a 19-year-old from IMG Academy in Florida. A hit of 55, power 50, arm of 50, run of 50, and field of 50. Overall 50. Great bat speed that can hit to all fields consistently. Ranked 56th overall. And Cameron Appenzeller, a left-handed pitcher, 18-year-old from Glenwood, Illinois. A fastball of 55, slider 55, and a changeup of 50. Control 50, and overall 50. At 6'6", he is very slender, as he puts on some weight and muscle, you'd expect that velocity to go up even more. If that happens, he could really come on later as he develops. A 58th overall. A couple of trade targets, and then we'll get into the All-Stars. Trade targets, the most recent ones being mentioned, in addition to some that I've already talked about, and we'll go over some more of those again on Sunday. But Chris Bubich, I think is how you pronounce it. Also from the Royals, we've also talked about Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha from there. Bubich is arbitration eligible for 2026 and then will become a free agent in 2027. So he would not just be a pure rental. This kid has really, really come on this year. Has some really nasty stuff. He is 27 years old. And just a very, very nasty pitcher. Has an ERA of, 2.25 right now with a FIP of 2.66. A WAR of 2.9 as a pitcher in 96 innings. I'm telling you, this kid is nasty. He is probably going to cost quite a bit, though, prospect-wise. But I think, especially if you end up like with him and Seth Lugo, that would be a really great addition to this staff, in my opinion. Like I said, his FIP is just nasty. He's even better on the road, ERA-wise. His FIP is just a little bit worse on the road, but like we're talking 2.63 at home versus 2.69 on the road. So it's not like he's just pitching really well at Kauffman Stadium. He is pitching well, period. And then Adrian Hauser, I'm not going to talk about him too much. That's not really one that gets me too excited. But probably when it costs a ton with coming from the White Sox, maybe a little more because of in-city trading, but has a really good ERA right now at 1.9. His FIP is even pretty solid at 3.23. But this is by far the best this guy has ever pitched, and it's this very small sample size. He has less than half the innings that Bubich has at 42 2/3. Only 7 games started. Yeah, the numbers look good. I don't know that it would continue to keep going that way. His history shows, the guy's 32 versus Bubich is 27, so I think Hauser is what he is, and maybe he's just kind of having a Colin Ray moment where he's pitching out of his mind to start the season for him, and he'll kind of regress, is my guess. So I'm not saying I think he probably would be a little bit better than Colin. I just don't think it's that much better to waste a trade asset to get him when you can try and package more of them together to get a little better upgrades. That's my personal opinion on that. And congratulations to Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker, who are now starters for the NL in 2025 All-Star Game. Very, very cool, very exciting. Some guys that I think also possibly could have a strong argument to make the All-Star roster. That'll be announced on Sunday. For the reserves, I think Nico Horner deserves some consideration at second base. He has played absolutely stellar defense at second base and has hit pretty well. Like, if you go look at second basemen and what their stats are, he's up there. Like he's a very vital part of this team, and versus second baseman, he's very, very good. Seiya Suzuki definitely deserves consideration. I think definitely needs to be on the All-Star team. This guy is leading the NL in RBIs, I believe, last I looked. Hitting for more power than he's ever hit in his career, especially in the first half. Just a great bat this year for the Cubs. Underrated, really, the way that everybody goes on about Tucker and PCA, which is rightly deserved. Don't get me wrong. But Seiya Suzuki has been very, very important to this team as well. I think Michael Busch deserves a little bit of consideration. I'm not sure he'll get in, but I think he deserves some consideration as well. And Matthew Boyd, Brad Keller, they both deserve some consideration as well for the pitching staff of the NL. Those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join our Facebook group at Clark and Addison, Born Into the Ivy, and our Instagram group at the same handle. Leave some posts or comments in there about what you'd like to hear or what you thought about today's episode. However you subscribe to your podcast, please like and subscribe to Clark and Addison, Born Into the Ivy, so that you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. Also, if you feel so inclined, please make sure to leave a 5-star review. Have a great day. Paisley, send them home.
Go Cubs, go!
Living on the water, counting days since last summer.